So we're starting in this discography. Well, we're starting again similarly to how we began last time, kind of showing, we're still at the same level here. I still play guitar at the same level. I'm going to try and improve. I still speak at the same level as yesterday. But this was not the case for Metallica when they came into their second album. They did not start the album by doing the same thing that they did the last album, just like I started my review by doing the same thing. Yeah. Basically what I'm trying to say is Metallica was different. Even though only a year had passed, this album was different than Kill 'Em All, and I think we can all agree on that. Let me drink some more. It's crazy that only a year had passed, between the two albums. But again, I'm going to try to be critical. I'm not going to be very critical, but I'm going to try and not think, oh, it's Ride the Lightning, it should be good, and stuff like that. Spoiler alert, there's not much in this album that I don't like, but I want to be critical. So I'm going into this very differently than how I went into Kill 'Em All. So Ride the Lightning is an album that I had listened to a lot of times before reviewing it. I could almost remember the order of the tracks. I most of the songs I knew by heart. And it's been one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Metallica albums. Anyways, you get the point. One of my favorite, if not my favorite, of their albums. So it's near and dear to my heart. But analyzing it so closely definitely gave me a new perspective on some songs. Yeah, I guess let's get into it. I don't have much more to say. Yeah, I like that we can hear Cliff's influence a lot more on this album. We can still hear Dave's influence, and I'm all for it. So yeah, let's get into it, I guess. Yeah, so we start off very differently from how Kill 'Em All starts off. Rather than, chaos, hit the lights. It is chaos, but at first we get Fight Fire with Fire's epic intro with that 12-string guitar. I believe it's a 12-string. Anyways, and then we get into the actual song, which is really fast, really aggressive, with a super cool riff. I don't know, I overlooked that riff at first, but as of late, I've really been appreciating that riff, Oh my god, dude. That one. Super cool, and they kind of introduced that riff with some suspense with the drums, and then finally the drums fully come in, and it's like very fast tempo. I really like the song. It's a great opener. There's also a really cool variation of the riff. Like, I can't play it, but it's like, yeah, it's like that one. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. And then back into the main one with vocals. Now, when I was reviewing this album, this is the day after I did Kill 'Em All. I was, for once, taken aback by how good James's vocals were, because I guess I got used to the Kill 'Em All vocals. This was great. He still does his little scream that I talked about in the Kill 'Em All review, but it just fits a lot better. I don't know if it's the mix. I don't know if it's his voice. I don't know if it's whatever, but it just fits a lot more, and I appreciate it rather than not liking it. the lyrics are really cool. Yeah, not much more to say. I don't really focus on the lyrics in this song, or in most of the songs I listen to, but I can just, the words that are being spoken are cool to me. They're edgy and not in a childish or cheesy way, at least to me. And whenever there's the variation of the riff, which isn't really a variation, it's more like another riff. There are no vocals, and I kind of like that. Yeah, the chorus is also awesome. I like how Lars is using the ride cymbal. Yeah, basically. And James says something like, "You also die," or something die, and then we go back into, I don't know, I found it cool. Yeah, then there's an awesome solo. Kirk shreds his face off on this whole album. Like, massive improvement for him from Kill 'Em All. I mean, he's already nice in Kill 'Em All, but he's got some classic stuff of his on this album. And we're gonna get into it later for sure. The whole song just has a really cool energy to it. And then there's a part where there's like a sort of breakdown-ish part where Lars uses the double kick, and I really like that. I forgot about that. And then boom, kicks off into the harmony, which I don't know, maybe other people talk about it a lot, but I don't hear this harmony part being talked about a lot, and I really like this part. I think it gives a whole other dimension to the song. It's still very fast-paced, I believe same tempo, but it's a beautiful part. It's almost like a solo harmony for how fast it's going. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. It's like, there's a part in it with different notes that goes, oh my gosh. I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's really fast, I can't play it, but it's the very fast harmony. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And I really like that part. It keeps the same speed, and that's awesome. It's like an energetic harmony. It's cool. It's cool. Yeah, so the breakdown sounds like something like that. And we go back into it after the harmony. More double kick, super cool energy. If they played this at a concert, I would be dead right now. We get some more suspense, and then back into a third verse, which I found was verse 4 on Songstar. I was looking at tabs, but I hope you guys know what last verse basically. And if I get anything wrong, I apologize in terms of song structure. I try to pay attention, but sometimes I don't, I guess. And I usually am not a fan of extra verses at the end, but this was very welcome because the song is so fast and so heavy, and so it goes by so quickly that this was a very welcome last verse. There's a cool laughing sound effect at some point in the third verse after some lyrics. That was cool. It rides the line between being cool and cheesy, but I believe, like, in my opinion, it falls more into the cool category. And then there's a nice riff at the end, which I can't remember right now, but I'm sure it's really nice. And that finishes Fire with Fire. It really caught me off guard. It always blows my socks off. Not that it's the heaviest thing I've listened to, but it's just got so much energy. It's an amazing opener. And then, oh man, I wish I remembered how to play it, but then we go right into Ride the Lightning. That whole thing. I mean, after Fight Fire with Fire, the title track, hearing the title track, hearing Ride the Lightning is awesome. Those two are two really good songs back to back. From someone who knows the album, when Ride the Lightning was playing, well, it started playing all of a sudden, I just smiled. The intro is iconic. The main riff is nice. What was it? It's a nice riff. It's simple, but it's nice. I like it. Yeah, there's a cool little drum fill by Lars towards the beginning. like when there are no vocals and the riff is introduced. I can't explain it, but I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, I invite you to go to the song if you're curious. I really like that little fill there. Now the lyrics in this song, as I was saying, and the vocals were amazing in this song, but very expressive also. But the lyrics in this song, so usually I don't pay much attention to lyrics in songs I listen to, but there are some that even if I'm not trying to pay attention to the lyrics, they just kind of catch me somehow. I'm trying to focus on guitar and drums or bass or whatever, and the lyrics just catch me, and all of a sudden I'm focusing. I don't know how singers do that. There's probably some secrets to doing that, but this is what happened with this song, and I eventually, after listening to it many times, I figured out what it was about. You know, the subject matter being someone about to get killed by the government on an electric chair, hence the song title. And the lyrics are just so good, so good. I don't know, they're powerful to me, especially the next part, which I'm going to get into. Yeah, I was literally thinking about the lyrics. I really like the lyrics in the song. I really like the message of this song, or like what the story of the song, rather. I don't know about the main part. So I love this song, but I don't know about the main part of the chorus. So in terms of like vocals and guitars, like it's a nice part. I mean, the guitars are good. I just didn't know about the vocals. I don't know. I don't know if they fit perfectly, but the lyrics tell such a good story that they help so much that it's not even a problem. So I wouldn't have been a fan were it not for the lyrics, but the lyrics kind of make it all fit together for me. Don't ask. We go back into verse 2. I wrote down foot tapping. I guess I was tapping my foot for verse 2. It's a nice riff. And then we get to the bridge of this song, with the sort of Dave Mustaine inspired riff that's also kind of in Wake Up Dead. I forgot how it was. It was like... something like that, you know. I don't know, something like that. Anyways, I'm not sure. Something like that. I really like that riff. It comes in kind of suddenly, not too suddenly, but a little suddenly, and I like that. And then the lyrics come in, you know, simple but so effective. So it feels like James was in that situation. You know, if I remember correctly, someone help me, oh please God help me, with a little scream on please God. They're trying to take it all away, or they're trying to take it all away. And then I don't want to die. And then we go back into, because there's a variation. It's like... So when those simple lyrics are there, this is the rhythm riff, I believe, underneath. Something like that. And then when James says, I don't want to die, we're back to that whole thing with the I still sort of echoing in the background of that changed riff. I really like that whole bit. The lyrics are extremely emotional, extremely relatable, I think, to anyone or to most humans. I don't know, it's very powerful to me. I hope you guys agree. But if you don't, that's fine, obviously. Let's see. I don't want to die. Yeah, great drums right after. When this riff is going on, that whole thing, the drums do a whole thing where they change. He goes to the ride and then he crashes, and it's really cool. I mean, Lars really shines there in that little like 4-bar or 4, I don't know what. Basically, he does that 4 times. that whole riff 4 times, and Lars just really goes crazy, and I love it. That part of the song always gets me. And then we get into the solo. Wow, what a song. Oof. We get into the solo, which is, for now, maybe, when I continue reviewing these albums, I'll change my mind. But this is my favorite Metallica solo. Kirk solo, whatever you want to call it. It's so long. The rhythm riff underneath is pretty beautiful. It changes, but the initial rhythm riff. It's so long. I feel like it's more than 1 minute long, and it just goes into all sorts of places emotionally. You're thinking, in the meantime, you're thinking about the story that's being told about this guy that doesn't want to die and is getting shocked on the electric chair. It's just great. It's just great. It's amazing. So it starts melodic, gets faster, starts descending, and then explodes into another part, and then it's melodic but fast. I mean, chef's kiss to that solo. That was amazing by Kirk. And Lars, throughout the whole thing, is just keeping the rhythm locked into a very fast pace, fast sort of emotional pace. And then we're back into the bridge riff, I believe. That whole bit, the lyrics, someone help me, please God help me, they're trying to take it all away, I don't want to die, I feel like, play it, go again. And this time there's a guy screaming as a sound effect, which is a nice reminder of the song's themes, or story. I said the third verse was unnecessary. Yeah, because like this riff is simple and cool. I don't know, I would have ended the song on a high note and just left it there, but the lyrics are so good and they're finishing the story, and I don't mind as much. I felt like the third verse was a little unnecessary, but for this song and with these lyrics, I don't mind. Yeah, the lyrics really help. Feels like the story's finishing. And then we have a variation of the chorus for the ending, and that was cool. And finally, amazing move to wrap that song up in a nice, beautiful bow. They bring back the intro, iconic riff, Anyways, I can't play it on this guitar, but you get what I'm saying. That whole thing. You get what I'm saying. They bring it back, and they finish, and yeah, apart from, I would have made it, I guess, a little shorter. Maybe even not. I mean, this is definitely top 2 songs from this album, and top 2 solos. I don't know what the other one would be, but from Metallica, top 2 solos from Metallica. Yeah, I mean, it's a song that I like a lot, so I don't know. I wouldn't count this as bias. I think I just really appreciate the song. You could argue, the lyrics speak to you, but like, who are they not speaking to? Anyways, amazing song. Beautiful combo with Fight Fire with Fire and Ride the Lightning. Couldn't have asked for better. Especially from the band who released Kill 'Em All the year prior. I mean, what an improvement. I mean, they went from nice ups and downs to mind-blowingly amazing. If I had gotten this album, I understand why Metallica blew up like they did. I know they blew up more on Master of Puppets, but this probably helped. Anyways, then we get to classic For Whom the Bell Tolls, the bass riff, Well, I really can't play. Anyways, you get the point. Classic stuff, extremely catchy, extremely memorable. The kick is cool in that part, so it's like, I hope you can hear my foot again, but it's like 3, 4. Like, the kick really just keeps everything solid and going, and that's appreciated. I like how the bass does that first, and then the guitars join in, you know. That's cool. It's ominous. It teases the riff, and then the guitars join. It's very powerful, very heavy. Then we have Kirk's little part. Wow, I'm gonna struggle. That whole part, which is simple, but I feel like really effective. I have no complaints there. Awesome chorus. Oh my god. Yeah, like looking back at this song, the chorus is definitely my favorite part. I mean, the riff by itself, even without the vocals. And I think I was playing it wrong before. You know, it's actually my guitar teacher's fault, or my last guitar teacher's fault. But originally I was playing the riff. So I was going up to the A. So I was doing the power chord from the A, or not from the A, from the A string. Okay, I think it's an A sharp. I'm not sure. So yeah, I was going, which is cool and all, but I believe from what I've heard on the record, how Metallica actually does it is, okay, of course it's A sharp. Basically, I was doing it from the 5th string, whereas I started playing it like this, all from the 6th string, at least the first half of the chorus. So kind of dragging that, and I really think that's what makes the riff that heavy. Of course there's, but I'm saying the first half of the riff, rather than it's, and I feel like I can hear, I might be wrong, but I feel like I can hear the sliding a little bit. And I think that really makes that part of the riff heavy, and I really appreciate that little touch. I probably dedicated like a minute to it, so clearly I really appreciate it. Yeah, chorus is my favorite part of the song. The rest of the song, I understand it's classic. The intro is untouchable. I'm not the biggest fan of it, or not as much as other people, I feel like, but I'll admit the chorus is awesome. The verses, you know, that whole thing, it's simple but gets the job done. I like how the vocals are. It doesn't drive me absolutely insane for how good it is, but it's really good. I like the lyrics, even though it's not my favorite subject matter, but they're catchy, and they sound like they're telling an interesting story. I like the bridge, you know, the part. It fits very nicely into the song. Like it helps with the pacing. And speaking of pacing, this song is also put in a very nice position, because in the album I'm saying, because Fight Fire with Fire and Ride the Lightning are two very fast, intense songs. And For Whom the Bell Tolls kind of gives you a break, gives the listener a break from that, as well as bringing us down to the next song, which we're going to get into. But yeah, I feel like the structure of For Whom the Bell Tolls really helped it not overstay its welcome. Yes, it had 3 verses, which is usually a pet peeve for me, and this is a slower song. But I love the chorus, of course, and the first verse has no vocals. It's the one with the Kirk thing in the background. And I don't know, that helps for me. I don't know why. But there you go. And the ending is cool, you know. All the riffs in this song really feel like they fit into the song. Does that make sense? Like, they're very similar sound, not similar sounding. Anyways, everything feels like it fits. It doesn't feel like I'm listening to 2 different songs at times, you know, when the bridge kicks in or whatever. It's all very cohesive, and I like that. for this song at least. And then after From the Bell Tolls, we get into the magical. Anyways, I butchered it, but you get the point. I'm gonna decline the call. Yeah, we get into the iconic, beautiful, perfect Fade to Black. Looking at it from a sort of not historical perspective, but from an 80s perspective of someone who may have listened to the album for the first time, you know the song's going to be different right from the get-go, you know. And some people may have seen that as a negative thing at the time, but for me, it's a very welcome change. The solo at the beginning is beautiful, you know, the classic that solo. Super pretty. Into an equally beautiful verse riff, that whole thing. I said in my notes, the song is mesmerizingly beautiful. I don't know. I've listened to this song many times, but when I sit to review these things, these albums, I listen to them from a different point of view. I really focus, and the song really brought me into its atmosphere. It was quite powerful. And yeah, the drums establish a nice tempo in the verse. All the lyrics are iconic to me. Like, James wrote super beautiful lyrics. It's funny how he came to write them. I believe it was on the Kill 'Em All tour, their instruments got stolen and he couldn't play that. It looked like Metallica couldn't play that night. So James was really sad and apparently felt like killing himself. But Anthrax came through and gave them the instruments. So it's funny. The story kind of makes it seem exaggerated, but maybe that tells us how much James liked playing. But yeah, the lyrics in every verse are extremely iconic to me. I love the lyrics in this song. And the verse riff strikes a perfect balance between happiness, or like not happiness, but like relief. Like, anyways, I'll explain later. Relief or acceptance and extreme sadness, which is obviously helped by what the words are in the lyrics. So what I'm trying to say here is the verse riff really fits the lyrical content because it feels like, you know, whoever's speaking, hopefully not James, is saying, you know, he's saying what he's saying, obviously. So he's saying, I want to, you know, I'm done. I you know, I'm not who I used to be. I don't feel like a person anymore. I just want to end the pain, kind of stuff. But what the riff is telling me, or the verse riff is telling me, is he's so ready to kill himself that he's relaxed about it. He's like, okay, like, I'm gonna sing this song and then I'm gonna do whatever. And I'm trying to, I don't know, I'm making it sound funny, but it's beautiful and extremely disturbing and sad at the same time. I don't want to say disturbing. I'm not disturbed by it, okay? But it's beautiful and very emotional. And the chorus comes in very powerfully. And I like how there's no vocals during the choruses. It kind of makes you think about what has been said by James throughout the verses, and it kind of feels like an explosion of emotion. I sounded like Lars a bit. Anyways. Yeah, the verses always... Oh, yeah, okay. So I noticed how the verses always end with, like, an extreme sentence, like... Oh, yeah, I actually wrote them down. At the end of verse 2, it's, I need the end to set me free, I believe. No. At the end of verse 2, it's, I was me, but now he's gone. And then at the end of verse 1, it's, I need the end to set me free, or need the end to set me free. Basically, like, the verses always end with an extremely powerful and emotional sentence. So then that goes into the chorus, into that explosion of emotion, and makes the listener think about what's been said, like shocks the listener and gives the listener the chorus to kind of digest that. And that's a really cool touch. Where are we here? Okay. Underrated. There's I call it an underrated solo. I just never remember that solo, but there's a nice little solo going back into the second verse. And then we get the very sudden change after the second chorus into the iconic bridge. Let's see if I can remember it. Okay. Sorry for butchering that. I sincerely apologize, but here we are. I love this bridge. So cool. I mean, come on. It's an awesome riff. It's really emotional. Everything. They did everything right. Also, as an excuse, the action on this guitar is extremely high, and I'm really used to my electric. Anyways, let's go back to the... Yeah, I wrote... You're like, oh shit, when the bridge kicks in. It's like, whoa, okay, oh my god. But at the same time, you're still very emotional from what's been said. And it's the bridge riff really helps, it just helps the emotion get stronger. It's not, oh no, I'm in a different mood now. It's, whoa, he's getting extremely sad now. That's what it is to me, at least. Those are the emotions that come to mind. More iconic lyrics, I believe it starts with yesterday seemed as though it never existed or something like that. Yes, then there's other stuff like, anyways, I don't remember. There's a beautiful harmony of this riff. Like, this whole bit has a harmony over it with no vocals, which again reinforces the emotion. Really good job. I had chills in this part. And then we finally get the, now I will just say goodbye. James saying, now I will just say goodbye. And then he goes, goodbye. And just like Ride the Lightning, just like I Don't Want to Die, it kind of screams into the next riff, which in this case is a modified version, a sort of more chuggy, metalized version of this riff, which is... amazing stuff, really emotional stuff, really strong stuff. Man. Anyways, I'll tell you guys what I was thinking after we were done with this song. Really emotional stuff into this whole bit. Let's see if I can remember it. That whole thing. Such an amazing part. I mean, come on. A tear-jerking riff, I would say. Really reinforces the emotion, and there's no vocals here. After goodbye, there are no more vocals, which is really effective for obvious reasons. Yeah, I called it a tear-jerking harmony. That part. Tear-jerking harmony. And then the intro solo kind of comes back over it, which is such an awesome touch. And then the intro solo kind of starts going wild. Lars keeps up the rhythm. I believe I heard double kick. I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. Lars just keeps the rhythm going, and the solo gets more and more intense with higher and higher notes. They descend a little bit, but they still stay high. The emotion just like grows and grows, and because there are no lyrics after goodbye during the solo, your mind is, or at least my mind is thinking of, what may have happened to the person that was singing those lyrics, and then the song fades to black. And our beautiful masterpiece, favorite on the album. So the thing that I was gonna say, okay guys, we're back. Clearly the lighting's changed. A lot has changed. It's the next morning. I love Fade to Black so much I had to sleep. No. I had some technical difficulties, basically, which is a shame. But, you know, let's roll with it. It's the next morning currently, but I still remember everything I was going to say, so don't you worry. So where were we? We were at the end of Fade to Black. I believe I called it a beautiful masterpiece. I still stand by that. Definitely my favorite song on the album. Although, Ride the Lightning gives it a good fight. Or gives it a run for its money. What I was gonna say was, every time I listen to this album, and I get to Ride the Lightning, I hear the lyrics, I hear the music, and I think, how can, like, this has to be my favorite Ride the Lightning song. Yeah, my favorite song on the album. I know there's Fade to Black, but like, Fade to Black isn't gonna beat this. Fade to Black pretty much always beats Ride the Lightning for me. It's just so emotional. So, I don't know, such a beautiful masterpiece, pretty much. So musically impressive and so different for Metallica at the time, which makes it even more impressive. I don't know, it's such an art piece that it wins pretty much every time. So yeah, that's basically what I had to say. And after this first half of the album, I was kind of thinking, you know, can we get better than Fade to Black? How are they going to top this? And they didn't, in fact, which is fine. I mean, it's hard to, when I like something this much, it's hard to top it. And you know, even Metallica runs out of good, or like, masterpieces eventually, right? So we get to Trapped Under Ice, which, it's got a cool riff at the beginning. I like the verse riff, kind of. Actually, no, I like the verse riff. It was like... What's pretty cool about this one, it has how it like plays with the power chords, right? Like leaving the index and then putting it back on. And here as well. I like that stuff. And this whole part sort of helps bring you back into the more traditional thrash metal mood, which is cool. I like the riff. When the vocals came in, I wasn't a fan. I don't know. They were still cool, but yeah, looking back, they weren't that bad. You know what? I like the vocals. I wrote that I didn't like them that much, but maybe I was just spoiled by Fade to Black. No, the vocals are cool. The song is cool. It's just hard to follow up Fade to Black, I think. I like the chorus. Yeah, the vocals get a lot better in the chorus. And I like the lyrics as well. Weird topic, but hey, I'm all for it. Then we get an awesome solo in a verse 2. The verse riff kicks in again, pretty cool. But I think where the song especially shines and sort of gets back up to the level of the first 4 on this album is the bridge, which I'll play for you right now because I'm a fan. So there's this part with no vocals. It's something like... Wow, okay, well, I'm totally messing it up, but if you give me one more chance, maybe I can do it. Let's see. That's kind of a variation of it. Anyways, you guys get the point. You guys get which riff I'm talking about if you've listened to the album. And I think it's a really cool riff. I like the galloping is cool. This combination of notes is really cool as well. it's an impressive riff, and I forget about it pretty much every time I start listening to the song. And this section basically for me elevates the song, as I was saying, from a mediocre one, as I was kind of saying, from a mediocre sort of song to like a solid song. So I like this riff a lot. I like that there are no vocals for this riff. Sometimes it seems like I'm I'm against vocals or something, but I just like focusing on the guitars, I guess. And then we go into the part of the bridge with vocals, so it's like... Anyways, you guys get the point. So I like how there's the vocals part, which like those vocals are actually cool. Like when they say scream, it's like scream. You know, more vocals in between that stuff. But I like that whole part, and I like that's pretty metal, pretty heavy. The way it goes back into the first riff. Basically, I like that riff a lot, so it's nice to go back to it after the vocals. Yeah, basically the riff makes the song for me. Yeah, then we get a nice solo back in verse 3, which I didn't mind for some reason. I don't know. It just felt like it fit. And then they bring back the intro at the very end and kind of wrap the song up. Yeah, were it not for the whole bridge, I would have said the song was mediocre, but as I'm saying now for the third time, the bridge makes me want to listen to the song again. Then we get to Escape, which is a controversial song. Some people, hate it. Some people don't mind it. We know that James doesn't like it, apparently. There was rumors or facts or whatever that apparently the song was rushed out for the record label. They wanted another song, and yeah, basically it wasn't the most inspired song in the world. Some people love it regardless. I kind of tried to look at it in a critical way, and going into it, I like the very beginning little harmony, something like that little bit. That was cool. The verse riff is nice, kind of a slower pace, but once the vocals come in, and that verse riff is cool. It's like heavy, but I really didn't like the vocals in this song. They were cheesy, slightly resembled Kill 'Em All in a bad way. I don't know, the lyrics were also cheesy. I empathize with what they're talking about. I believe it's escaping from your authority figures. And as a second-year college student, I can see where they're coming from. It's just, I feel like the message was delivered in a bit of a cheesy way. So that kind of, I wrote in my notes, rid the song of any real chance it had to impress me, or like to, be a song that I would go back to. So yeah. Kirk tries to save the song with a pretty cool solo. Doesn't work for me. Then there's the breakdown, which some people, it seems like really works for some people and saves the song. I don't know, I feel like it's a bit overrated, or just basically not my thing. Doesn't do it for me. So, at least it's unique though. You don't really hear Metallica do breakdowns in that fashion very often. Then it changes into a cool solo, which I talked about before. It's not my favorite, but nice. And yeah, I appreciate the fact that they didn't put a third verse into the song, because unlike Trapped Under Ice, I was done pretty early on. So I'm glad they kind of wrapped the song up quickly. There's like an alarm sound effect at the end, as the song's kind of fading out, which is kind of funny. It fit somehow. It wasn't cheesy. I don't know why. Very subjective stuff, but it was kind of like, the kids are escaping, sound the alarms. I don't know, but it fit and it was cool. I appreciated it, I guess. And by this point, after Trapped Under Ice and Escape, which, to be honest, Trapped Under Ice, I really started appreciating the riff even more, the bridge riff that I was talking about, even more once I started learning it for this review. So basically by this point in the album, I was feeling a little fatigued. You know, it's one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Metallica albums. Anyways, we've been over this. But still, this basically wasn't my favorite point of the album, for sure. These two songs, after the 4 really good classics that came before them, I was a little, I was starting to lose my concentration. And I don't know if that's my Gen Z attention span or what, but regardless, Metallica comes in and completely saves the day, because what I hear next, as I'm typing, a bit fatigued in my notes, I hear I clearly can't play the verse riff, which I really like. But that's what I hear. And if we, okay, I know I butchered it, but like, for anyone that's heard the song, I feel like this whole combo, so intro, harmony of the intro, verse, pre-chorus, back to verse, I guess. Basically this combo of riffs, kind of reminded you of the song, and reminded you that all these riffs, right, the intro, the verse, the pre-chorus, they're all really iconic Metallica riffs, and for good reason, Like, there's iconic Metallica riffs like, I don't know, in my opinion, the main riff of Enter Sandman and stuff, which I would say are iconic in a different way. I would say those are, at least for me, iconic because they represent the band to a wider audience. And so it's kind of like Metallica's flag, so to speak, right? But these riffs are, I feel like, are iconic in a different way. I feel like these riffs are iconic from a fan's perspective, I mean, everyone, like, I'm clearly not the best player in the world. I think we can say that, although music is subjective, but I think, anyways. But, everyone's heard of, oh, he downpicks this part of the riff and all that, James does. Basically what I'm trying to say, iconic riffs, and for good reason. They're really good riffs, right? And they really all fit into each other, and it's cool. And yeah, basically when I heard, I was like, oh shit, I was back on track, fully concentrated, no longer fatigued. And that's great pacing by Metallica. Putting Trapped Under Ice and Escape where they put them, at the number 5 and 6 spot. After side A is over, so to speak, they obviously didn't want to end on a mediocre or decent note. They wanted to end on a strong note, and we'll get into that later. But so it wouldn't have been a good move to end with Trapped Under Ice and Escape, which is why they put them where they put them, and then they, pick you back up with Creeping Death. So yeah, great pacing by them. Awesome riffs that I showed you guys. Awesome drums in the pre-chorus. So it's something like crash, 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 which is cool. The vocals are really cool, really good vocals. The lyrics, even though the subject matter isn't like my cup of tea, I think are really interesting. They really sound like you're telling an interesting story, which adds to the song in my opinion. The chorus also is awesome. Another iconic riff, I would say. Let's see if I can remember it. I also really like, kind of similarly to the For Whom the Bell Tolls chorus, how they slide between the power chords. So it's like there's a little slide there, but the even more effective slide for me is the one after. So this one. I don't know. It's really melodic and heavy at the same time. I appreciate the hell out of that. Those little touches there. So basically, flawless song so far for me. All the riffs are classics that will stay in my mind for years to come, even if I stop listening to the album. The bass is really nice in this song. Then there's oh my god, yeah. Then there's Kirk's solo, which really impressively pretty much goes through the verse, pre-chorus, and chorus. Like James is doing verse, pre-chorus, chorus on the rhythm guitar, and Kirk is soloing over all of that. And it's a mind-blowingly good solo. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but it's up there. You know, it's really good. And the fact that it just continues seamlessly through all of those rhythm parts, iconic rhythm parts at that, is really cool. And then once, so it's really impressive. And then once Kirk hits that high note, you know, bends it and stuff, right into, oh my god, I forgot. I mean, come on. Really, really, really iconic stuff. Classic Metallica, Die By My Hand, crowd participation. They followed up the solo really well. I mean, it's an amazing combo of riffs there, or of parts basically. Like the solo completely melts your face off, and even if that's not enough, once you've got no face left, they hit you with a breakdown, and you just want to use whatever's left of that face to scream and join in. It's a really cool chorus and props to, or sorry, it's a really cool breakdown and props to Kirk for that. I guess he wrote it for Exodus. There's also that song called Die By My Hand. I'm not sure, I'm not extremely informed, but that's what I heard. So props to Kirk. Iconic stuff. Where are we here? Oh yeah, then after the breakdown, we have a third verse, pre-chorus, chorus combo, which I didn't think was super necessary, but the riffs are so iconic and I'll never get sick of them. So I was happy to have them there. Also, I like how in the last chorus there were some sort of lower backup vocals. That was cool. Kind of changed it up, gave it a new dimension. I appreciated that. And then there's that awesome ending, which introduces a couple new riffs, I believe. One of them being oh my god. Which is a really cool riff. I also like how the verse riff and this riff that I just showed you guys plays with the E power chord shape. You know, there's a trill there, which I always appreciate. And I don't know, the whole James uses that a lot and I really like it. Okay. Anyways, I shouldn't be talking about other albums. Let's not cheat on our baby here. All right. Sorry about more technical difficulties here. Basically my iPhone storage is full, so it stops recording. But sacrifices were made, and we're back. Yeah, as I was saying, let's not cheat on our Ride the Lightning here, but I really like this riff. And there's another one after that where Kirk sort of solos over it, and then we're back to that whole bit. So yeah, basically a flawless song, I would call it. Every riff on the song to me is very iconic. I can't find one riff on the song that I wouldn't describe as iconic. So basically hats off. And then we get to the Call of Ktulu. If we're not counting Anesthesia Pulling Teeth, this is the first Metallica instrumental. And yeah, basically let's get into it. We have this like very quiet little intro riff, I think played by only James or only Kirk. I like it a lot. And then we get to what I call the two Dave riffs, right? There's this one, also very iconic. Super iconic riff. I guess kind of like the flagship riff of the song. Although there are really good ones in here that shouldn't be ignored. And then, you know, what could be called the Hangar 18 kind of parts. Which like I call them Dave riffs and Hangar 18 parts, not to insult anyone. It's just to kind of remember them by name. And I think this is a great, they're using them in really good ways. And you could argue this is where the song starts building up. You could argue it starts building up right after the intro, but it really starts building up to me once these two riffs that I just played for you guys start getting distorted. So, there's distorted and palm muted, and basically, yeah, this is where the song starts building up. In terms of intensity, the drums start coming in properly, fully. I like how Cliff is using his wah pedal, kind of representing Cthulhu's roars. That's what I've heard, at least. There's a storm outside, but yeah, basically really cool usage of the wah pedal by Cliff. He also starts going crazy on the bass, he's soloing half the time in the song, and very tastefully so. I'm really into it. And Lars is also crashing all over the place whenever he wants, which must be really hard to remember when playing live, but it's really appreciated. It kept me on my toes. The bass and the drums really kept me on my toes in this song. And then we get into a new riff, very melodic riff, which I actually liked a lot and I forgot about before listening to the song again for the review. It's the riff that goes underneath Kirk's first solo, who Kirk, by the way, is soloing really well, or he's really going off on this song, as he does for the whole album, but he shines even more in this song, I would say. But yeah, the riff is which is a really cool riff, and kind of supports the rising intensity of the song, since it's going, it's based off of it kind of helps that rising tension, rising intensity aspect. And the drums, I feel like the pace keeps getting faster in this song, or maybe it's only the intensity, I'm not sure. But everything in the song seems like it's working towards that goal, which is really cool. I like this riff a lot, by the way. Very melodic. And the solo over it is, I would say, the perfect mix of melodic and shreddy. It's a really cool solo, and it goes on for long. The riff underneath it also changes. It's really cool. Kirk is great in this song. And then we go back into one of the main riffs with changed up drums, kind of more groovy, a little faster, I feel like. Really headbang inducing stuff, even when I think about it. I like when the drums change that way in songs. And something else about this song is that you never hear the same exact part twice. So, you know, if the same riff is playing, either Cliff will be soloing underneath it this time, or Kirk will be soloing over it this time, or not soloing over it this time, or the drums will be changed. You know, you never hear the same riff or the same exact part. All the instruments playing the same exact part as before. Or basically you never hear all the instruments playing the same exact part twice on this album. Or on this song. Which is really cool. And helps the feeling of rising intensity and rising tension, because it feels like it's a continuous upwards sort of trend. Lars starts using the ride, which is cool. That was before, but yeah, I like how he uses the ride in this song. Then we go back into the part I played. But this time the key starts changing, I think. So rather than starting here, so it starts by starting here, and then afterwards it starts starting here, so it's... So the notes are getting higher, the intensity is getting higher, and then finally the tension explodes and they're milking every bit of it. We go back into the distorted, which is cool. Lars is on the hi-hats. It's cool. And then there might have been a double kick before, which was cool, but I couldn't hear properly. But yeah, we're back to the distorted Dave part. Lars is using the hi-hats. It's really appreciated. And then once all the intensity and tension is milked, we get to the part of the song that I call the victory riffs section. And I'm not sure why, you know, why there's such victorious sounding riffs. But I don't know, maybe Cthulhu was defeated, maybe Cthulhu won, maybe something like that. I don't know what's going on with the story, but what it feels like to me is the musicians are celebrating what they've played before, you know, be it the whole album or the whole instrumental. It's a big relief of tension and intensity, and it really fits for me. I really like it. And it's got riffs like with a little harmony over it, which is really cool. Lars is also playing very much with the guitars on this riff, and I appreciate it. Yeah, I really like the harmony on this riff. And then we go back to the very first riff, the very quiet, with no other instruments playing riff that I guess James plays, like the clean one. And by this time I had chills all over the back of my head. And then there's a classical guitar that comes in with a little trill just for 5 seconds, and that is perfect for me. Chef's kiss to that. And then everything stops. We get a little build-up with drums, and then it's the last victory riff, the last riff of the album, which is... You know, and then everyone goes crazy, Cliff starts soloing, and that's the end of the song, which I would say a quasi-masterpiece. Maybe not, but it's a really good instrumental. It feels really inspired. I really like it, basically. Very impressive for the band that released Kill 'Em All the year prior, in my opinion. They knew it was an instrumental, and they played their instruments. Everyone shined, you know. Cliff was, again, soloing half the time, very tastefully. Kirk was perfect and soloed a lot. I like the riffs. Lars was really displaying his style and his skill. And I really liked him on this song. So great stuff all around. The whole rising intensity and rising pace into the victory part was so cool to me. It really made 9 minutes feel like 3. The song was 9 minutes long, almost. So I love it. I love that song, and I love the album. I mean, 6 out of 8 songs I consider iconic in the best way. The other 2 are fine, you know, maybe not so much Escape, but I really like The Bridge and Trapped Under Ice. Arguably 6.5 songs I find really, really good. Since the album is 8 songs long, that's really impressive. I tend to be picky, but I think it's a great album. Yeah, it starts, like, the first 4 songs are perfect. There's a little lull, but then we get right back on track with Creeping Death and Call of Ktulu. Really good musicianship displayed on this album. Very tasteful writing, very atmospheric. Great lyrical themes. There's a lot of stuff to like on this album, for sure. Yeah. For now, it's my favorite Metallica album. Let's see if my opinion changes as the discography keeps going. But it's just simple enough. It strikes a great line, you know, where it's beautiful in its simplicity, but not way too simple, you know. It's really good. It's really good. I would, if you're, you know, new to Metallica, I would probably recommend this album first, if you're a metalhead. I don't know. I consider it a really, really good album. That being said, I think I've made my opinion clear. Yeah, there's a reason why, I'm not sure if I said it before due to all the cuts, but there's a reason why this channel is called Nick 1984. That's all I'm going to say. Now, that brings us to the end of the review. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening and watching, especially if you've made it all the way here. Mad respect. Yeah. I hope you agree. If you don't, let me know. If you do, let me know in the comments. Let me know if I've maybe made you notice anything that you didn't really notice before in the album, or made you appreciate something, or anything like that. And yeah, let me know which bands you would like me to do a discography review of after this. I usually I would like to only do bands that I think I fully understand. But if your suggestions coincide with that, then I'm definitely going to give you the priority. I want to do stuff that you guys like. Yeah, also stuff that I like, but you know, we're gonna find a balance. But yeah, basically, if you enjoyed, leave a like. If you want more, I invite you to subscribe. This is, you know, what I'm gonna be doing. The comments are your oyster. And yeah, thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch this. So, have a nice day.